Back at it again. VeeFriends Comics. Let's go live on Instagram. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday? Is it Thursday? Yeah. Thursday, August 14th. This is the VeeFriends Comic stream. I'm having my coffee. Good morning. This is my pre-work stream, but I'm working. Just finished up this comic strip, this Sunday comic strip for VeeFriends. I should probably put up the TikTok chat, but yeah, I'll be drawing a new comic, maybe a couple other things for the next hour or so. I don't think I'll be summoned for any work stuff until a little bit later, so we got a little time. Good morning, Alana. Alana. You say tomato. I say tomato. TikTok. Alright, let's go on TikTok. TikTok's a hot mess. That's what's up with TikTok. Anyways, we're live across channels. We're live across a bunch of channels. No, not whatnot. No whatnot. Only because I don't know. I just didn't schedule the drawing board streams because I'm very busy in other meetings. So these are the best I could do, and I'm not selling anything. So, but we do want to still go live on whatnot too. It's just that the setup's a little strange from my side to go live on all those channels. Anyways, let's open up a mini. Got a purple one today. Let's open up this one for the pencil this morning. Sunshine Reshine, what's up? Destiny, what's going on? Bert, I'm live on Instagram, TikTok. Here's where we're live right now. I think about almost correct. I've committed to going live at 8 a.m. every day this week. I won't be able to do it next week because we're going to be with Gary at a creative summit all week, and I got a lot of deep VeeFriends work to do. Oh, who did I get? I got a nifty narwhal detailed. I've been pulling the 3 detailed this week and 1 diamond. On Monday I pulled an accountable ant. On Tuesday I pulled an accountable ant eater. Where are they? Here's the ant eater. These are VeeFriends minis, by the way, if you don't know. We'll get into it. We'll chat about what VeeFriends is as we go, but yeah. I can't even show you this desk. It's full of minis and it's a mess. But we got a nifty narwhal here. There he is. Pretty nifty. So yeah, even though my schedule's been really busy, I committed to going live because a lot of people were like, where have you been? And stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I kind of took a promotion. Plus, we're cooking on comic books we can't show you. And I'm doing the Sunday comics. And now the creative director stuff, kind of like getting the creative team in shape and working with the team to do all kinds of cool stuff behind the scenes, product design, everything like that. So I did forget to color this gray here. That's okay. We'll leave it gray. It's fine. Sometimes you just gotta ship. You can read, watch, and collect VeeFriends if you're new to VeeFriends at VeeFriends.com. It looks a little like this. Well, it actually looks a little bit like this. We've got Topps Chrome. We've got the manga series with Steph Curry out. Of course, the comic books, which I'm primarily working on. It's a big driver for us, the stories. VeeFriends cartoons. Take the quiz. Which VeeFriend are you? We have over 280 VeeFriends that you can vibe with. That's just one of the styles that they're in, by the way. Very cool, though. And then, let's see, there's a picture of Gary on here. VeeFriends was created by Gary Vaynerchuk. You might know him on the internet as Gary V. Hence the name V in VeeFriends. I like to say that because I get that. One of the biggest questions I get is, what the heck is VeeFriends? We also have a volcano that you can throw things in. That's a whole other, you can learn about that on Burn Island there. Just throw things in the volcano whenever you'd like. But yeah, I'm DJ, the creative director, cartoonist, writer, storyteller. And that's what we're doing today. So we're going to start a whole new one. Like I said, I'll be out at the comic, so I got to take off my Apple Watch because sometimes there's a little notifications on there that you're not allowed to see. There are savvy viewers of these streams. I have to be very careful what I show and what I don't show. There might actually be something right through there now that I'm looking. Oh, gosh darn it. All right, let's block it with a patient panda, a woeful wizard, and let's see. You know what? He doesn't get much love. Genuine giraffe. Let's put the giraffe up there. That'll block the alpha that's in the background there. It's fun. It was not planned. I just was like, darn it. There's some stuff back there. Shoot. Okay. It's really small. You won't be able to see. The only thing I miss is who is on the other platforms. I don't know what you mean, but you mean like Whatnot and stuff. I'm on Whatnot occasionally. We usually do Thursdays, but it's been a little bit of a jumbled schedule and stuff. So, okay. So this is what happened with this. Hey, you're on the stream. You're watching. I hope you read the Sunday comics, but you're getting a preview right now because you're here. You're dialed in with me, and I appreciate that. And in this comic, Sunday comic, Curious Crane has a package, and it's being delivered. The bird's flying too far ahead. Curious Crane here. Sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. Gnome catches his breath. Take your time. I have an idea. Climb on my back. We can fly faster. Fun. More like terrifying. And then we have him saying, like, I need to make sure that this package gets to the Fairy King safe and sound. This comic, by the way, if you don't know, this is in 72 newspapers across the country. So a lot of people that don't know VeeFriends get to see it. And one of my, sorry, sounded like my front door opened. It'd be funny if I got robbed while I'm on the stream. It's probably just my cat goofing around. Anyways, Curious Crane's asking way too many questions. What's this? What's that? What's this over here? What's that? And then he's like, hey, can you be quietly curious? And he's like, okay. And then there's a little mushroom dangling from a branch. And so he's like, oh, what's this now? What happens if I pull it? He's like, no, it's a trap. So they get trapped. That's that Sunday, and then it leaves a cliffhanger for you. And so we're going to start off with the next comic. This is how I would start a comic. We're just going to get into it, and I might have to draw a couple little other things too. You might have to refresh. Chris, you just refresh the X stream. I think that other people had that problem yesterday. Is it jumpy for anyone else? Over on X, he said it was very jumpy. So yeah, I'll start with a little layout. I know that the VeeFriends logo is usually always at the top. I know kind of what the idea is going to be. We've been just milking out this storyline for a little while. Dry dye pencil red. Going to my rough. Sorry, great. And I'll just go with, this is basically what we call a thumbnail layout in Comic Land. So I know, VeeFriends is going to be here somewhere. Sometimes I like to do something interesting with the title. Maybe. That's definitely my cat downstairs messing around. I'm not even going to bother. Live stream problems. And what might get leaked via watch or background? Oh, I gotta head back to work. Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not getting robbed. I live in a little tiny Norman Rockwell type town, for better or worse. Cool. Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. I was being jumpy because I was like, oh no, I don't want you to see this. I can't let you see this thing here. I'm going to put this over here. I get printer proofs and stuff like that, so, you know, I got to make sure that I don't show that stuff to you. Okay, so they're in a cage. I think I'm going to start. We're going to do some storytelling here. I'm just going to talk out loud. To me, I don't like to share this stuff. I usually do this off stream. But, you know, I'm not even really worried about that. I think what we need to do is start the comic where it left off last. So we have a little cage here. I'm just going to go real fast, like boom, 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 boom. This cage. It's got a little dome top. We'll have their little silhouettes in here. And he's going to be like, now what do we do? So I'm just trying to capture the body language a little bit. Like, so now what? And he's going to like, this is a fine mess you've gotten us into. So sometimes I'll just like listen, I'll put them in the situation, and then I'll just listen in my mind for what I think the characters would say, or what I think that Gary would say the characters would say too, because like, you know, I got a pretty good beat on that now, working with Gary a lot. So they're going to be starting here, like, fine mess you got us into. What now? And then like, we'll do VeeFriends here. I think that's fine. Let's get rid of this. Cut this out. I'll get to some drawing here. Like, you know, better drawing. I'm always so like, no one's going to want to see this scratch. Where else am I live? I am live on... let me just switch the screen real quick just to remind people. I am live on... at VeeFriends on TikTok. It's VeeFriends55 actually on TikTok. I don't know why. It's a different old comics channel. Facebook and X. I think I'm live on the Facebook. I hope so. It keeps disconnecting the Facebook every day. Yeah, I think I'm live on Facebook right now. I don't think so. Maybe not. It always disconnects. So I'm live on at VeeFriends Comics on YouTube and Instagram as well. So I think the Facebook's broken today. I don't know why. Sometimes I can't control the thing that connects the thing. Says it needs to be reconnected, and I can't do that part. So anyways, we got the gnome and the bird are stuck in a cage here. We'll have a panel, a little tier here. I'll just keep with the tiers because it's tiers are. This is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, level 1, level 2, level. We'll just stick with that. Sometimes I like to. Maybe we will. No, I don't know. Sometimes I like to go bigger, but I think they're going to be like curious as to like Bird will be curious like. Why would somebody trap us like that? Like, do you think they're gonna eat us? Like, he gets a little scared too. I don't know if you've read the comic strips or the comic books. Hopefully you go to the website, because you can read, watch, and collect the comics on the website. The comics are free to read over there, but one thing about Curious Crane is, like, when the heat gets too kind of scary, he bounces. Like, he's like, I'm out. You know, he's not fearless. He's a little curious about everything. It gets him in danger sometimes. But so we'll have the gnome down here. So he's like, He's going to be the first. This is the panel here. So he'll be like, first very curious. Like, do you think this? Do you think that? Do you think this? And he's like, gotta find a way out. That's what he's going to be saying there. And then from here, he's going to be like, oh my God, do you think someone's going to eat us? It's going to be like a big, like, ah. Let's do that. Ah. Let's, like, really emphasize the mouth. opening. And when I'm doing this too, I'm also thinking about, they'll probably reuse it for social media posts. So like having a funny picture of the crane, like going like, oh my God. Do you think we're going to get eaten? And close that panel there. So you see, we're real small. I'm just trying to figure out the posing and we're literally writing this out. And then Gnome's going to be in this panel, like he's going to quiet down. Quiet down. He's trying to squeeze out of the hole. And now he's going to get stuck in the hole. I'm just making this part up as I go. That's the fun part. So he's going to be, trying to get out one of these holes. But it's too small, and he's got the package he's carrying. Quiet down. Let's see if I can get out of this. Maybe I'll put the crane there. I don't know. We'll see about that. And I think we then have him get in a situation, because it's funny, where he's like, oh no, I'm stuck. So and then we'll just go from there. We'll start penciling this part out, because I think that's a pretty good. Oh no. He's going to be like, oh man. His hands are out. Like this. And he's just going to be stuck. I don't know if that's the same. Let me see the size, because if the size of the cage changed, he could probably get out. So that's not going to work. Maybe. I don't know. We'll make it work, because it's funny that he still gets stuck, I think. It's funnier that he gets stuck. Let's see. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm over here now. MT Box Design's good. Hey, wherever you're at, like the stream. Birds Flying Free, what's going on? Mr. Messer, what's going on? Julie. Larry, what's going on, Larry? Good morning. It's early where you are. Rise and grind. He's gonna be partially stuck because of that package on his back. I think that's the thing. The package is there. Like that. Yep. Oh no, I'm stuck. That's what I'll just put an exclamation point in there for my own note. See, we can really milk this whole situation out. They're stuck in a cage. They could be stuck in a cage for weeks if we wanted to. Transparently, we were supposed to have a comic book out by now. It's done. It's at the printer. There's a lot of delays. A lot of delays. And there's a comic that I want to drop that ties into the story that's in the regular issue 4 of the comic book. It doesn't really matter. Not a whole lot of people are paying attention in the Sunday comics, but I definitely want to have this nice, this nice thing. Oh, cool. Mr. Messer, he runs the VFam Sessions podcast. If you look that up, he interviews a lot of people in the VeeFriends community. If you don't know what VeeFriends is, by the way, it's new collectible brand stories. Think Disney / Pokemon / Marvel. We're doing that kind of thing. But I'm biased, so I'm we're building something with a little bit deeper community and stuff like that from the get-go. Created by Gary V. Mr. Messer does the VFam Sessions podcast, and he has interviewed tons of staff and community members, and he interviewed me, and he's going to have Allie, one of our artists, on the show. She just turned in a cover I can't show you. See, that's the thing. I can't show you some of the art we're doing, but It's really good stuff, guys. It's so good. You're going to get bombarded. You're going to be like, there was nothing, and now there's everything. Everything all at once. So, like, you know, I don't want to hear anybody complaining that there's too much. Because, like, we've been cooking. We've been cooking up some stuff. Man, I did some stuff yesterday that I'm just super on fire about. Let's start here. I'm just going to start with this scenario. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. I'll blow up the... Alright, this is how I'm going to do it. Get rid of this. I don't need this logo right now. We're going to just blow up this rough. This is how the sausage is made with comic strips, comic books. We start with some roughs. We blow up the roughs. Right, like that. I'm going to kind of align it a little bit. Yep. Yep. And then I see things like already where I'm like, okay, I want to tilt. I'm going to tilt this panel like this for sure. I like breaking all those rules. When I was coming up trying to break into comic books, and you'd encounter different editors and such, and they would I'll keep that grid there. It's kind of just a visual thing. And editors would say, like, you can never break the panels, you could never have characters peeking out of panels, but the comic books that I always liked in the 90s, you know, growing up, they were very like hype comics. There was a lot of action and people busting through frames and Hulk busting through a brick wall and bricks are flying out of the panel, and I'm like, this is cool, you know. Yeah, Allie's cool, man. She's kind of like an unsung, you know, kind of a hidden talent on the team there. Like, kind of a little quiet. You might see her on some streams and stuff, but behind the scenes, she's cooking stuff up. She's a very talented cartoonist and storyteller, a visual storyteller there. Okay, back to my pencil. What am I doing here? I gotta make sure I'm on the right layer. And I'm just gonna get right into trying to make this. I'm gonna paste in the panel previous so I can reference it a little bit. I could just cheat and you know, I'm gonna redraw it though. That's how we do. I could cheat and copy paste, but that's kind of weak. That's weak. That's some weak sauce. Occasionally I'll do that though, so don't hold me to that. But I just want to make sure I get a different angle on the cage, maybe. You know. All right. Because it's a little bit of a silhouette in the forest kind of thing. We might even just go with a straight view. Let's do that. Oops. What happened there? 1, 2, 3. Let's space out the bars accordingly. That's about right. A lot of it's just eyeing it up. Sometimes I like to put this. It's tricky, you know. Now you're learning how to draw, and you're like, I don't know how to draw, but then now you're learning how to draw characters in a cage. So you should technically draw those. You know, we should figure out the silhouettes back here. I want them to be kind of silhouette-y. So I'm channeling some Alex Toth. Gotta channel some of those master storytellers with their simplification. I always think about that. I try to think about that kind of learnings and stuff as you're drawing. You never really forget your teachers and your. So he's like, silhouette there. See, this is perfect between these bars that I can get. I'm really getting into some craft here, you know. If this is going to be like a silhouette, this is perfect for that kind of thing. And then a little foot coming off there. So that the silhouette is very... When this is in newspapers, it's about 10 inches by 10 inches. Cubby Blue, what's going on? Good morning, everybody. I should probably set... I can't believe it's been a half an hour already. We're not even... You know... I committed to doing it this week, the streams, and I don't regret it, because it's been like, okay. But I gotta say, every morning, the past 2 mornings, I've been like, you know what, I should probably cancel the stream. I got too much to do. But I guess that's a lesson in life, too, is that if you don't put it on your schedule and commit to it, you know, wherever you're going to go in life, I could just be basic and go, you know, that's too hard. I don't want to do it. But then once you just get to the gym or whatever, I don't go to the gym. This is my gym. I should probably go to the gym. Again, excuses. We make excuses, all that stuff. Same for artists. So we'll have, you know what? It might be fun if this is going to be like silhouette. Like, we'll just give it some shadow. And then their shadows are in the, that could be a fun thing. Since they're going to be mainly silhouette. And then they're on a, you know. I also want to have a, we're going to know what they're saying here. And he's like, well, I don't want, I think we're going to have like a little tree branch there. Do that. Another wild looking tree there. That's good. That's fun. Cheers, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Schedule is important. I almost didn't make it, I gotta say, today, because I was like, oh man, I'm really behind on on my normal schedule a little bit. I got some other stuff to take care of, and but it's sometimes it's all in your mind too. You're just like a little bit more, you know, have some anxiety about that or whatever. I'm just gonna cross this out. I've been liking that header situation being like an intro to the comic. I've been saying it almost every day, but you know, one of my goals with this project, the Sunday comics, I just tried to channel a little bit of like my favorite ones. Everyone's favorite ones really were like Calvin and Hobbes, and like sometimes they just really break out and do some really amazing stuff. And I just want people to stop what they're doing when they're scanning through the newspaper. I think we're mainly on weather pages, so everybody checks the weather every day in the newspaper. And we've got half a newspaper page. So what I want is for when people are paging through that, them to stop and go, what the heck is this bird and a gnome stuck in a cage? Like, it's just a visually appealing thing, right? So, attention. You know, I'm just trying to get you to stop and go, what the heck? Because for new people, and also excite, you know, for people that are collecting gnomes, shout out Ryan. You might learn a little bit of something, you know. Apparently gnomes are very old, right? You know that. But yeah, where is everybody? tuning in from. Someone mentioned that on this chat there. MT Box Designs. We got Today in Space in Boston. Jennifer is in Western Mass. Where's everybody from? I am south of Pittsburgh right now, in beautiful southwestern Pennsylvania. I'll be going up to New York this week, New Jersey. We're doing a comic offsite again, where we're going to do a lot of ideation and planning for 2026 and beyond. I kind of want him to be kind of grumpy, so I'm going to add some eyebrows there. He's kind of like, man, well, this is a fine mess you got us into, and I don't want to we can be inside the cage right now, so I'll have the cage border be the background. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not too worried about. This is the package. Only one person guessed the correct answer to the package that he's delivering, because it's a mystery. Craig, what's going on? How's the coffee this morning? The coffee is... Man, I don't know. I've just been running on autopilot. I think I'm just doing my classic Highlander cream from Presto George in the Strip District in Pittsburgh. Nice little time to reset the stream a little bit. This is the VeeFriends comics stream, storytelling stream, really. I am drawing a Sunday comic strip. If you're new to VeeFriends, you can always drop me a line at comics@VeeFriends.com. Let me know that you're here and vibing with it. You can read, watch, and collect VeeFriends on VeeFriends.com. I'm not going to go to the website right now, but that's where we have everything that you could possibly want. We've got one to know about. I mean, I'm sure there's things in life that you want that we can't provide. But, you know. This is a fine mess you got us into, Curious Crane. Now what? Gotta find a way out. That's what he's gonna be saying there. Curious Crane's just being curious here. Again. Man, I think I messed that up a little bit. I'm gonna fix this right now I gotta go back and fix this coloring real quick. I realized just as I was drawing his feathers, I was like, wait, I don't think I colored his feathers in here. Let's fix this. I knew it. Jumping around too much. Let's fix that up. It's okay. It's okay, if it's not perfect. But I was like, wait, I don't think I colored those feathers. I did get those ones. All right. Wow, I can't believe... There we go. There we go. I was like, wait a minute. I think that was a white feather that his hand was. I can't even believe I remembered that visually as I was drawing that. There we go again. See? It's just one little thing about Curious Crane. He's got like these, color tips on his feathers. And since we're in here, we might as well just throw a little highlight on his beak, because I like to do that. Add a little depth. I'm just going to fix it up. Might even just adjust this real quick. Turn that badge back on. I'm going to re-upload this. Share it. Share the JPEG to my MacBook. Ethan, what's going on? Good morning, Jordan. Matt, I'm working on my first superhero comic. Any tips on word balloons? Oh boy. Tips. For me, lettering, I just make it part of the... Let's go into this new one that I'm working on. This is not a superhero comic, but I did do a superhero comic at one point. I would say, I do everything in Procreate. This is not the way that the normal industry would tell you to do things, but I don't listen. I like to have one program that does it all. So I'm just going to select this one. Copy this. Let's do some lettering right now to show you while you're here. I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to go add text. Now I've added my font already. You can drag and drop fonts directly into Procreate. I'm just going to show you how I do it, but you can be using anything, Illustrator, Photoshop. You pick your poison with that. I'm using Procreate. I've also kind of trained or forced our comic artists on the team, Chris Faison, Ali, and I think maybe Kate's still doing lettering off in a vector program, which is, here nor there. So I'm just going to go ahead and write, what's he saying? Who do you think trapped us? Or what's this trap for? Was this, I'm writing it as I go. Was this trap for us? So you see it's really blown out right now, the leading between the lines. I'm just going to fix that by going to this, leading, and just bump it together. All right. And then I can just change the size. I'm going really fast, but I'm just, I'm thinking 10 inches on the newspaper. I can get about usually 17 point. I don't want to go less than 17 point font. We're at 20 right now. That's decent. Also, I like to set this font is a Blambot font called Spinner Rack. I usually do a -2. No one cares about this technical stuff. The kerning and tracking I like to set at a -2 just to tighten it up. And now we're good. Was this trap set for us? He's going to have multiple balloons here, so I'm going to... Was this trap set for us? Who do you think set this trap? Set this up. Let's just do that for right now. Who do you think set this up? He's going to be like, he's Curious Crane, so he's just rambling, like questions, just like a child. Do you think they were trying to trap food? And then the next panel, he'll be like, to catch food. I don't like to reuse the same word when I'm writing. And this might not be the final dialogue, right? So, do you think they were trying to catch food? And then I'm swiping, I'm duplicating, and I'm just moving that over here. And he's like, oh my god. I'll do OMG. Is someone going to eat us? I'm just going to bold that up. Tilt it, because I can tilt it around here. This is going to be bigger. Oh my god, is someone going to eat us? Funnier thing now, I'm going to just move back to here and go, are we food? Are we food? This is also something I normally wouldn't do on a stream. because I don't feel like, I'm like, this isn't exciting. No one wants to see this. They just want to see my lines moving, right? But I've had other people say like, no, we like to get into the weeds. Was this trap? I'll show you the balloons here in a second, but was this trap for us? For us? I'm gonna bold that. Like emphasis, you know, was this trap for us? Who do you think set this up? Do you think they were trying to catch food? Are we food? Oh my God. And he's gonna be like, oh my God. So I'm gonna change the font here so I can take this, duplicate that. I just want to do a nice OMG in our brand font, I think. OMG. Go to change the font. Now the fonts that I've put in here, like this. I just imagine people like tuning in, going like, "What? Oh, I'm not even like showing the right thing here, am I?" There we go. You've been looking at my face the whole time. Jeez, no one wants to see that. I either like super normal font, or I'll just use our brand. Wow, that's a good one. And I'll take off the kerning and that's good. Maybe not. Maybe it's too bold. Do that. OMG. So then what I'll do, you know, as I'm doing it with lettering, I'm just on the pencil layer, just like I was. And now that I've got the placement for the balloons, I'm just gonna pencil in my balloons and draw them by hand, like old school. So, and I'm gonna connect them in a moment. I know there's ways to do vector, and you know, I've done that stuff, but I feel like it's very generic looking. Like I like a organic balloon. It just feels more, well, human. But also if I say like I wanted to have a, you know, if I wanted to do a thing like this or whatever, I could just draw the balloon. So you're really making the balloons part of the art. So here we go. Like I could just go, I'll just show you what I mean. Like if I want this part of the balloon to be like this, I'm just doing that. You know, people could say, yeah, you could do that in vector program too, DJ, but I'll be like, yeah, but guess what? In order for me not to do that step, I have to wait till later, and I'm feeling it now as I'm drawing live. Because otherwise I'd have to like finish the art, take it into a vector program, then put the balloons on top, you know, based on a sketch. But like right now I can just illustrate the balloons right in there, and we're cutting time. So that's another thing, like figuring out the time. Now, what I would do is I would fade those out, and I go on another layer, usually in my lettering layers here. And this will be my balloon layer. So I'll just pick my nice smooth brush, smooth train, free brush. You can look it up online. Smooth train, comic brush. Make sure I got the right width size, and then I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna ink that border just like I would ink a comic. Just like that. Nice smooth. And it's, if you're not good at that, then learn. Take an empty page and just draw ovals over and over and over and over again. Maybe if you're stuck in meetings. Then I'll double tap here to erase this. I'm just going to throw the tail in there. The balloon tail. Right like I've had, you know, of course, there's letters. I know some of the best letters in the world, actually. Yeah. And they probably cringe when I'm doing this. But you know what? I think they also say, I've talked to the one guy, he's like, you make a good point. Like, if your job is that you're a solo person, or, you know, you're trying to speed things up, and really, we move fast here. We move real fast with the stories and the comics. And so there we go. We got some nice crisp balloons. Exciting. This was an exciting... Hey, thanks for watching over there on TikTok-ish. Also follow our regular VeeFriends TikTok. We have shops over there and stuff like that. I think if you're new to VeeFriends, VeeFriends is over 280 characters that you can vibe with. We've got Topps Chrome trading cards that are killing it out there in the collectibles world. Really, you can do the same thing I say: read, watch, and collect. The comics, you can read the comics, you can watch the cartoons, you can collect the cards and the pins and the everything we have. You can see all the characters we have alphabetically. If there's an animal or a trait that you like or you vibe with and you don't know, perhaps you take the quiz to see like which VeeFriend aligns with you, kind of thing. That's fun. And VeeFriends was created by Gary Vaynerchuk. You might know him on the internet as Gary V, hence the name V and VeeFriends. Here's Corso going, wow, and Jeremy. And there's Corso again. He's like, oh my God, Gary did create VeeFriends? And I'm like, yep. And he's like, and Gary's like, that's me. Here I am. Look at this. I got some trading cards. Anyways. There we go. VeeFriends. Read, watch, and collect over there. Please read the comics. That would be great. If you ever meet Gary in real life, he's going to say, and you go, I love the comics, Gary. And he's going to say, did you read the comics? What did you think? And you go, well, I haven't read the comics yet. And he's going to look at you and just frown and go, what's wrong with you? Read the comics. And if you can't read, well, you're in luck, because we also make these sick animated versions of the comic, of every single comic book, which I don't know how we're going to keep up. We're going to try, but even if it comes out after the comic book comes out, it's still a really cool way to consume the content, the comics, the stories. I hate the word content sometimes. Content just feels like boring. Content. Content's a boring word. Stories are better. Stories sound cool. Content. What else sounds boring? Intellectual property sounds very like you're about to get in trouble sometimes. But I've been dealing with intellectual properties my whole adult life. But what do? I work on intellectual properties. That sounds pretty, I don't know, not great. We make awesome stories that are going to be remembered forever and ever, and we'll be some of the best to ever do it. And you're right here on the ground floor watching it. How about that? How about that? No ego there. We're in it. We're doing it. We're really doing it. Your watch, it's so cool. We're doing the things that we wished we would have had when we were kids. We wished we could have watched Walt Disney or Jim Henson or Jim Davis. Man, my heroes. I wish I could have watched Jack Kirby drawing comics and talking and, in his voice. There's not a whole lot of recordings of Jack out there. I'm not going to do a Jack Kirby impression. I'm not going to do it. I can hear his voice in my head, though. I don't do impressions very well. Curious Crane. Always be curious. It's worth repeating. Hey, thanks for all that the likes over there. Jack was the king of comics before it was cool. You're right. Jack Kirby had the vision, you know. Yeah, Gary's got a really big internet presence. We sell out our comic books in like 3 seconds, and people are still like, what is VeeFriends? You know, we're getting there. We're getting there. Everybody's going to know VeeFriends soon. Everyone will know it. You're just here early. I know that sounds cocky, but it's not. Trust me, I'm probably one of the most humble dudes. You know, I know I'm not the best artist. You know, I know there's way better artists than me, but that doesn't matter. But I do say, I think we're really good. You know, if I have to toot my own horn, I'll be like, I can write a story about anything, or I can really believe and get into worlds and world building and stuff like that. And it's just what I do. I just like to do it. It's fun. And I like helping people. That's the most important thing. We're not just telling stories on the surface level, like here's this action-packed thingy and whoop-de-doo, there's some explosions and yippee-yay, yippee-yay, and typical human stuff. Here you go. Because a lot of people are dealing with stuff out there, you know, like everybody is human that's on this stream. I'm sure there's some AI robots watching too, but we all deal with the same stuff, man. Relationships, broken hearts, the good, the bad, the ugly. We all got it. We're all gonna die, you know. That's a bummer, but the minutes that you're here, you can kick some butt, do what you love. Don't be a slave to, you know, your situation. I'm liking this crane's. Oh my god! I think his eyes need to be like even bigger. Nah, that's good. Oh my god, is someone gonna eat us? Am I just getting... I can't believe it's been almost an hour already. Holy cow. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. Herb on TikTok says messages and storytelling is great. I think it's a balance, because like you don't want to be too heavy-handed. Like, you know, it was funny how G.I. Joe used to end the cartoon and be like, now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe. Wait, am I? Where am I? Here I am. Always not too far away from me. G.I. Joe 21, which did it for me, man. Shout out to Larry Hama. Doesn't get the credit he deserves. He often gets... I don't know what it is, man. The comics world doesn't take care of Larry Hama, man. Like, well, the outside independent comics do, but Marvel really like just skims over history with like adding his name in credits and stuff in the comics, and like it's just not great, man. He was the assistant editor and editors on so many books and like involved in so much stuff that I wouldn't even know about because they just didn't credit him, you know. And there's something to be said for why, you know, like, I don't know, you know, it's weird. It's just a strange thing, but shout outs to him, man. He's awesome. Larry Hama. Jennifer said, how long does it take to determine how each character will be drawn and then draw it that way every time? I don't know. It depends. Like I was telling Gary, and he said it's absurd. Let's see how this... Like, I did this one mostly on stream, so I'm thinking this one took longer, but I can actually track my time a little bit. Canvas information. 9 hours, 36 minutes involved in all of this. Now, we've only been here an hour, today, and I've gotten this done. So I've started sketching, a little bit of inking, a little bit of writing, you know. So really it's just kind of like I do a little bit differently. You know, I'm like writing and drawing as at the same time. Like the concept is in my mind. I know who trapped them. I mean, you might be able to guess who trapped them if you've been reading the comics, but you might know it's coming. But now that I'm reading this again, I'm like, I know who trapped. He's like, I know who trapped us, and I'm like, it was this person. He's like, how did you know that? He's like, because he's right over there. We see you. You're hiding. So I have a thing about this is like a running joke now, where it's kind of a running joke in the comic that just kind of happened. Was here, I'm just going to talk about the running joke here. In the Fearless Fairy comic, let's find it. Here, this is a good way. Fearless Fairy, go to comics, VeeFriends.com/comics. You can read the full issue here. It's not long. It's not a long story. By the way, our new comics are much longer, much bigger. Somewhere in here, in this storyline, the fairy's like, hey you, come out. I see your hat, gnome. Learn to hide better. So like these gnomes are trying to hide, but their hat's sticking out. What's everybody hiding from? Shh, he'll hear us, right? So the golden rocks, the hiding gnomes. And in that case, she sees him. The Fearless Fairy's like, I can see you, dude. But in this comic strip, he like takes it. He's like, give it to me. Where'd you go? And then the gnomes think that they're really good at hiding. So they in their world, they're like, I barely escaped. Luckily, we gnomes can hide very well. And it's either true or not true, depending on who you are. Maybe if you have bad intentions, you can't see the gnomes or the fear care. You know, you can't see that. But if you're fearless, you're like, I see the things that are hiding from me, right? But I've been hiding, you know, it's just really silly. Like there's just some landscape and there's like some gnome hats hiding in the gold rocks. So like that's kind of like building the lore or the stuff underneath the stuff. Native brand. I gotta go down to the post office today. I think the thing you sent me is coming. I wasn't able to get out of the office yesterday. That's a lie. I did have to go out of the office yesterday. It's 9 o'clock. I gotta check my schedule, make sure I'm not missing a meeting. You know, I don't have a 9 a.m. meeting today, so that's great. Tomorrow I will for sure. Yesterday I did have to leave my house because the fire alarm started chirping. Oh man, I can't believe it's now talking downstairs. Anyways, it's like it heard me. The smoke alarm right outside my door started chirping, and I was like, oh man, I gotta go find a 9-volt battery. You never have 9-volt batteries when you need them. I found one, and I tried to change it, and then I was like, man, I don't have time for this. I'm running out. I gotta get this other stuff turned in. This is a pain in my butt. And you can never find 9-volt batteries, and I luckily found one, and it still didn't work. And I'm like, I found one, and it was dead. What luck? So I'm like, you know what? I can't do it. This chirping is killing me. So I just said, I'm going to go down to the Dollar General and get some 9-volt batteries. Go down there. I leave. Go get the 9-volt batteries. I come back. I change the smoke detector batteries, and something's still chirping. And here it was the carbon monoxide detector that was right beside the freaking... I don't know if... The smoke alarm's got fresh batteries. Everything got fresh batteries yesterday. But when I went to change the batteries in the carbon monoxide detector / smoke alarm detector, it alerted, it like set off this alarm on our house where it was like, emergency services are being called, detected, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, no, 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 no. Do not call emergency services. So I had to run down the stairs, remember the code. I couldn't believe I remembered the code to put in to cancel this thing. And I was like, man, what in the world, dude? I just want to get my work done. And then I'm just nervous because I'm like, the fire department's going to show up, because they did once. It happened to us once. We accidentally pushed the button on the one in the basement, the detector in the basement, and it summoned the freaking authorities, and they demanded to come in and check our house for carbon with detectors and stuff. And I was like, man, this is a waste of time. I actually bought a plot of land in Ireland for me and my wife. Does that make us a lord and lady now? Did you find that article over in Ireland that you can go, like, they'll pay you or something to get a lot over there? Is that, or you can get a house and take it over? I gotta get to Ireland at some point. I'm a good majority Irish, I think. German and Irish, but probably more, I don't know, I'm probably like 50-50 actually. I think I'm more Irish than I am German. Let me think about that. Lockerty, McElhaney, Kaufman. Yeah, definitely more Irish than I am German. You know. What a mix. What a mutt. But Germans are so, the German side of me is so serious and very, very analytical and very whatever. Not that all my German friends are like that. I have a lot of German friends like that. But then my Irish friends are just wild. Partying. They know how to have a great time. Even if it's with nothing much but a guitar and a, good bottle of something or whatever. So, you need a little bit of both in your life. You gotta work hard, play hard. 10 square foot plot. Is that like a convention booth? You could just like go and set up a convention booth, a 10 by 10 booth in Ireland, and be like, yes. I kind of like that idea. Steve's in Ireland. Steve's over there on YouTube. He's always watching from Ireland. I really want to, man. Even Gary, like, hey, listen, Gary called me up the other day. We're talking about some stuff I can't tell you about, but he's like, DJ, I can't, to this point, like, where I'm still drawing the Sunday comics, I'm working on a lot of other stuff too. And he's like, DJ, I cannot have you, like, 10 hours drawing a strip for you is absurd because I need you to do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, well, I still want to do it. I got it. I got this. But he's like, I don't want you working 120 hours a week. I'm like, I'm not. I promise you. I'm not. But he's like, because, at some point you're going to I want you to take like a 2-week vacation. I'm like, I've never had a 2-week vacation ever. I've had a week vacation, but I don't even know if my brain can handle a 2-week vacation. I don't know. I don't know. That's pretty wild. But I'm like, ooh, where would I go for a 2-week vacation? I was like, probably, my wife and I differ on that. Like, she's like, let's go to the Dominican Republic and all-inclusive resort. And I'm like, I don't like that idea. Like, I was like, can we just go to, like, Hawaii or, nothing against all-inclusive resorts, but I just kind of feel like you're just, I don't know, you go to a place and they're like, don't leave the resort. Whatever you do, just stay in this freaking hotel. And I'm like, that doesn't sound very relaxing to me. I could be wrong. Then it's like, don't drink the water, don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, whoa, all right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll do both. What was this? There must be a line somewhere. I'm just going to go ahead and put this on the color layer. So anyways, I've been hanging out for an hour, a little over an hour now. I do have to go to work and do some other stuff. But I've committed to being here every morning at 8 a.m. this week. It's been hard. Yesterday was tough, but I did it. Today I did it. I gotta go. I've been here since 8 a.m. A little hour stream, hour and 9 minutes. Something like that. But I do have to go. But I'll be back tomorrow around 8 to 9 again, because at 9 o'clock I got important meetings to do. And I'm working on, we saw us working on this strip all week. This was nice. This was fun. This got done and turned in at the nick of time. Little mushroom trap. And now we're seeing where, I really like that. Like that. Oh! Curious crane. And now I'm working on the new one. This will be for the 24th, I think, of August. And I hope to have this done probably tomorrow. Turned in. So, cool. Awesome. Great, guys. I thank you for joining me today. I gotta go. VeeFriends are forever. We'll see you back here real soon. I wish I could hang out for hours, but I can't do it. Not this week. Not in the cards. But I'm happy that I committed to being here every morning at 8 for now. And then, when I get back from our trip next week, working with Gary, I like this idea of kind of an open office. Good morning. Hope you have a great day. I hope your job doesn't suck. If your job sucks, please get out of it. Stress isn't worth it. Find different ways to make money. Listen to Gary. I did. I'm here, right? That was a big part of it. Finally listening to the people out there that were like, "This, don't be afraid." I was so afraid for years to not quit my other job that I was getting miserable at. And I finally just said, to heck with it. I gotta go. Because you're gonna, time's a ticking. Time's a ticking, everybody. All right, guys. Hey, VeeFriends are forever. I'll see you guys tomorrow.